Once upon a time there was a farmer who had two sons. When they were old enough to marry, he told them, "You must each cut down a tree, walk in the direction it points, and you will meet your beloved." The older brother knew whom he wanted to marry, so he made sure the tree fell in the direction of her cottage. Miko, the younger brother, did not have his skill. The tree pointed into the forest. Miko walked through the forest until he found a cottage. He went inside, but the cottage was empty. "I'll never find my beloved," he complained. "Don't be so sure," said a small voice. Miko looked around and saw a mouse. "You're only a mouse. How can you be my beloved?" Miko asked. "Once you get to know me, you might like me," the mouse replied. Miko stayed and talked with the mouse. She was kind and smart, and Miko liked her very much. Then Miko got home. The farmer had more to tell his sons. "Your brides must weave a cloth for me. If it is good, you may be married," he said. Miko went back to tell the mouse the news. "You cannot weave. You are only a mouse," Miko said sadly. "All will be well," said the mouse. Miko sat down and soon fell asleep. The mouse called over to her mouse and her rat friends. Together they wove a cloth which they had folded into a nutshell. When Miko woke, the mouse gave him the shell, and he carried it home to his father. When his father opened the shell, everyone watched in amazement as he pulled out yard after yard of fabric. "Your beloved is a great weaver," exclaimed his father. The next day, Miko returned to visit the mouse. "Is today the day we marry?" she asked. "Yes, it is, little mouse," said Miko. "Though I am worried. What will my family think when I bring home a mouse to be my bride?" The mouse thought and then said, "All will be well." Then she whistled, and a tiny carriage made of nutshell pulled up to the cottage. It was pulled by rats instead of horses, and driven by a mouse with another mouse footman behind. Miko's bride climbed into her carriage, and he followed. As the little carriage pulled up to Miko's house, everyone stared. Miko had bought a mouse for his bride. "This won't do," said Miko's brother, and he kicked the carriage into the river. "What have you done?" cried Miko. "You killed my beloved. You may think she was only a mouse, but I loved her." He began to cry, but then his father gasped in amazement. "Look," he said, pointing to the river. Out climbed 2 men, 4 horses, and 1 wet but beautiful princess. "A witch had put a spell on me and turned me into a mouse," said the princess. "She said the spell could only be broken by one brother who loved me and another who hated me. I did not think it would ever happen, but now it has." So the 2 brothers were married, and both were happy. When Miko returned to his bride's cottage, he found it had turned into a beautiful castle. There they lived happily ever after.